Hello everybody, this is the True Spring Reverb from Source Audio. The True Spring is a very realistic spring reverb and tremolo combination pedal. It was designed to capture the onboard effects from some of the most iconic combo amplifiers and outboard spring tanks from the 1960s. Now the primary purpose of the True Spring is to deliver killer spring reverb and tremolo effects. But the pedal also has a ton of very cool additional features. So in this video, I want to describe and teach you how to access some of the pedal's coolest functions. These are functions that are maybe not so obvious when you first pull it out of the box. So on the surface, it's pretty obvious what we've got. There is a wet-dry mix knob, a level control, a dwell control, which sets the intensity of the signal getting blasted into the spring tank, and a tone control, which boosts or cuts the high frequencies of the wet signal. It also has this center toggle switch, which is used to select the reverb type. So let's check them out. There is the short spring that gives you a tighter onboard spring reverb sound. And we have the long spring that gives you a longer, more animated reverb trail. And finally, there is the tank reverb, which offers that super drippy, tube-driven outboard reverb sound for all the surf guitarists out there. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is how to access the secondary tremolo controls. So if you hold down the control input button on the top side of the pedal, the function of the dwell and tone knobs are temporarily altered. You'll hear that the dwell knob now adjusts the tremolo depth and the tone knob now adjusts the tremolo rate. And just one note, if you move the toggle switch or power down the pedal, your tremolo settings are going to reset to 0. I can also hold down the control input button and move the center toggle switch to change the tremolo type. If I move the toggle switch over to the leftmost position, this is the position labeled short, it will engage the opto tremolo sound. In the center toggle switch position, labeled long, you will hear the harmonic tremolo. And on the right side, labeled tank, this is where you'll find the bias tremolo. And And you can check out our website if you need to know a little bit about each of these tremolo sounds. Okay, so that is the pedal by itself. But I also want to get into what you can do if we bring the source audio tap switch into the fold. So with the tap switch, you can independently engage and disengage the tremolo effect. Or you can use it as a tap tempo for the tremolo rate. The tap switch comes with this 1/8 to 1/8 TRRS cable. You want to connect that cable from the small jack on the tap switch to the control input jack on the True Spring Reverb. Now let me show you how to set this up to do some different things. If I unplug the power supply, then hold down the control input button, then plug the power supply back in, you will see that this little LED at the top of the pedal starts to blink out a pattern. It's 1 blink, then 2 blinks, then 3 blinks. Each of these numbers represents the different functions of the control input jack. So here we go. If I release this button after the 3 blink segment, I can use the tap switch to engage or disengage the tremolo. So I've already set my tremolo depth and rate. You'll see now that the tap switch turns the tremolo on and off. You'll notice that the little LED at the top of the pedal indicates whether the tremolo is engaged or bypassed. And the tap switch is completely independent of the reverb, which means I can turn the reverb on and off with the onboard switch while the tremolo still remains engaged. So check it out. Okay, if we perform the control input process and release the button after the 2 blink segment, we can use the external tap switch to tap in the tremolo rate. Now, if I go into the Neuro mobile app or desktop editor, I can also assign the tap tempo to the reverb modulation or tremolo and reverb modulation simultaneously. In there, I can also set the tap tempo beat divisions. My options are quarter, eighth, dotted eighth, triplet, and 16th notes. By default, it's set to quarter notes. And finally, if I release the control input after the 1 blink segment, I can access the True Spring's MIDI functionality by connecting it to the Source Audio Neuro hub. I can also use this mode with an expression pedal. Now, by default, your expression pedal controls the reverb send, but you can also assign simultaneous expression control to any combination of the pedal's primary knob parameters. So let's try it with the reverb send. Now I want to assign expression control to the knob parameters. I need to first press the control input button, which turns on this little green LED. Then press and hold the control input button until the LED starts to blink. Now I move my expression pedal to calibrate it and set the sweep range. Next, I hit the foot switch and you will see the LED blink faster. Now, I'm going to set my heel down positions for each of the knobs I want to control. What I want to do is use the expression pedal to turn the wet signal up with the mix knob and also boost the overall signal with the level knob. So I'll set the mix knob all the way down and the level knob to unity gain, which is around 12 o'clock. I hit the foot switch again and you'll see the LED blink a little faster. Now I set the toe down position of the knob. So the mix is up around 1 o'clock and the level is all the way up. Now let's hit the foot switch one more time and my expression control is assigned. So let's check it out. Okay, now we're going to dig a little deeper into the land of the Neuro mobile app and Neuro desktop editor. In the past, we've created videos on how to connect and create presets with both the Neuro mobile app and Neuro desktop. I'll leave links to those videos in the description. Most of the general information you need will be included in those videos. But for now, let's just focus on some of the most useful stuff you can do with the True Spring Reverb. Essentially, you can do the same things with both the mobile and desktop versions of Neuro. For this video, I'm going to use the desktop. So I connect it with the USB port on the top of the pedal. And I open my Neuro desktop, which is available for download on the downloads page at sourceaudio.net. With the Neuro editors, I can really customize this pedal and get it to be exactly what I need it to be. First off, you'll see the True Spring Reverb menu pop up over here in the connections field. The first thing you may want to check out is the hardware settings by hitting this gear icon. The hardware window is where I set up my global settings, meaning that they apply to all the pedals, presets, and toggle switch positions. In the hardware window, I can easily set up things like my bypass method. I've got true or buffered bypass, and I can also select the control input option. In here are all the modes that I explained earlier. There's expression, tap tempo, and tremolo engage bypass. I can set the pedal for the reverb trails mode so that the reverb fades naturally after I've bypassed the effect. I can select a default routing mode for the stereo inputs and outputs. There's a lot of options in here. So next, if I hit this wrench icon, I can open the sound editor. So this is where most of my work will happen. Most notably in here, we have the Spring Reverb Engine's pull-down menu. If I hit this, you'll see the 3 reverb types selectable with the pedal's toggle switch, but you also find a bunch of other unique reverb sounds. The Hall S reverb right here is a fun combination of spring reverb combined with 80s Hall reverb. It's nice for big, lush riffs. I also love the drip machine, which gives you this cool drippy echo effect. It's very nice. Okay, so how about we do this? Let's create a preset, then burn it directly to the pedal. We'll start by selecting a reverb engine. You'll notice that as I select different reverb engines, the default knob settings are changing. I'm going to use the Hall S engine that we just tried. So I'll select that and we'll stick with all the default reverb parameters. Next, I'll move down and select the type of tremolo that I want to pair it with. I'm going to go with the harmonic tremolo. I'll set my depth and my rate, and I can use the Engage boost control to turn up the dry tremolo signal a bit to counteract any perceived volume drops. Now, here is something cool. With this pull-down menu, I can select where the tremolo effect sits in the internal signal chain. I can choose whether it applies just to the dry signal or whether it sits at the end of the chain and affects both the wet and dry signal. I want to apply it to just the dry signal. Okay, over here you can see my tap tempo beat division choices. You can also see the parameters to which my tap tempo is assigned. But I'm not going to use my external switch for tap tempo. I want to use it to engage bypass the tremolo. So I'll go back to my hardware settings and choose Tremolo Bypass Engage. Now, here is another very useful feature. If you want, you can change the primary and secondary parameters assigned to the dwell and tone knobs. You'll see, as it is now, the primary functions of the dwell knob is dwell, and the primary function of the tone knob is treble, obviously. What I want to do is bring the tremolo controls to the top of the pedal so that I can easily reach down and change the speed or depth of my tremolo. So I'm going to use the normal dwell knob pull down and select tremolo depth. Then I'm going to go to the normal tone pull down and select tremolo rate. I also want to change my secondary controls. So I'll use the dwell alternate pull down menu and select time so that I'll be able to adjust how long my reverb rings out by holding down the control input button and turning the dwell knob. Let's set the alternate parameter of the tone knob to treble. And I can use this little box to select whether I want the tremolo engaged or disengaged when I initially turn the pedal on. I want it disengaged so that I can hit the onboard switch and just get my reverb, and then go to the tap switch when I want to add tremolo. Okay, so I like this preset and all its control options. I want to save it to one of the toggle switch positions on the pedal. So I need to go over here to the hardware presets section. You'll see that I have 6 possible places on the pedal where I can store this preset. But before I do this, I need to explain the 6 preset positions and the difference between standard mode and preset mode on the pedal. If you look at the center LED on the pedal, you'll see that it's green. This means the pedal is in standard mode. We call this around here knobs mode. Knobs mode means that the pedal functions like a traditional pedal, meaning that the physical positions of the knobs dictate the sound that you're going to hear. So for example, if the mix knob is turned all the way down, you'll hear only the dry signal without any reverb. And you have the ability to save any combination of reverb and tremolo engine in each of the 3 toggle switch positions in standard mode. The other mode the pedal has is preset mode. To get over to preset mode, you need to first bypass the pedal, then press and hold the foot switch until the center LED turns red. Now we're in preset mode. You'll need to do the same process to get back to standard mode. It is also possible with the hardware options to set up the pedal for what we call quick change mode, where you can quickly jump back and forth between standard and preset modes while the pedal is engaged. If you're using quick change option, you can press and hold the foot switch while the pedal is engaged, and it will quickly change from one mode to the other. So this is useful if you want to be able to switch between 2 sounds in a hurry. So anyway, now the center LED is red, and we're in preset mode. Preset mode means that all the physical knobs on the face of the pedal are saved to fixed positions and come up automatically when you engage the pedal or move the toggle switch to a new position. So for example, no matter where your mix knob currently sits, you're going to hear the wet-dry mix ratio the way you set it the last time you saved the preset. To resave a sound in preset mode, dial the knobs the way you like them, then press and hold the foot switch until the center LED stops blinking. And it is possible to save one preset in each of the 3 toggle switch positions. Okay, let's go back to the Neuro editor. I've still got my preset in the sound editor and I want to save it to the pedal. I'm going to select the Save As button up here. When I do that, a window pops up and asks where I want to save the preset and what I want to call it. So let's call this Philharmonic Hall. Now I want this preset to live in the center toggle switch position in preset mode, so I'll select the second position right here. I'll select Save, and if you look over here, you'll see Philharmonic Hall. All right, the preset is saved to the pedal. So let's go back to the pedal. So you can see I can disengage the pedal, move the toggle switch to the center position, and there is going to be my preset. When I first engage it, I'm getting only the reverb. I can then hit the tap switch and engage the tremolo. And since I've assigned my tremolo controls to the dwell and tone knobs, I can reach down and make quick adjustments to the tremolo effect. Okay, so that's it for now. For more info on the True Spring Reverb, go to sourceaudio.net. And thanks for listening.